Welcome to The Advocate, a program that thrashes out all the topical issues of the day.
When you are in government, you don't see nothing wrong with whatever is happening. The moment you are out there, everything is wrong.
You can't even see many women now, and when they're there, they're not even really making a mark, and then they have an NYSC problem and this and that.
One of the reasons why we don't have more women in politics in Nigeria is for as long as political meetings continue to take place in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
Really?
Disastrous for a president
To even say
to be
he's
unaware of the chief
It's
justice.
a ploy. It could be a strategy.
That strategy was very
Backfired.
terrible strategy. Because the buck stops at your table.
Whether it's that we don't look after our cities, and quite frankly, Nigeria is becoming a very ugly place.
When you are the only one feeding the people with this news and there is nobody countering them, it becomes, the news.
All right, as the saying goes, there are two sides to every coin. The two phases of judgment and justice. Recently, Nigeria was divided over the issue of an alleged near lynching of former Deputy Senator Ekweremadu. Even now, some are still arguing over the fact that it was a deserved beating, whilst others are condemning the act. I am of the position that the surprise event is symbolic of where we are at as a people. I recognize that the act of several members of the IPOB movement based in Germany is not necessarily representative of Ndi Igbo. I hope I get that right. However, in a bizarre way, the act of attempting to beat up the senator seems to be speaking for aggrieved citizens from across the length and breadth of Nigeria. And it is saying this. One, Nigerians are fed up with being taken for a ride by our politicians. Two, we feel powerless to communicate our displeasure and so are not unhappy for the message to be communicated by other means necessary. Three, it is not necessarily about Senator Ekweremadu. He is merely a scapegoat for the insensitive political class we have suffered as a people. And four, Ekweremadu, the senator, was in the wrong place, sending out the wrong message in that he displayed an insensitivity that is typical of our governing class by wearing a Nigerian coat of arms traditional top to an indigenous gathering where some of those represented there are angered by the way Nigeria is being governed. Beyond this, here are other takeaways. The fact that the German authorities are apparently not about to intervene on behalf of the senator to charge the men who assaulted him with an offense may give further hope to Nigerians that they can take action overseas, not within Nigeria, where they have been unsuccessful on home soil. Added to which is the alleged offer by the notorious Nnamdi Kanu of 1 million naira to whoever would make available to him the travel itinerary of southeastern politicians abroad. And you have a practice that could catch on. We see it in the purported chasing away of the foreign minister, Dr. Onyema, from the Nigerian embassy in Austria. Our politicians would do well to become ardent scholars of these recent events, as we are doubtless at a volatile turning point in our history of political activism. These are certainly not days for political insensitivity. On the other hand, I'm bringing in a twist to the tale. Let's take the recent event of the purported storming of the home of former Governor Akinwumi Ambode by the EFCC and the alleged intervention by the people of Ekpe to defend him. A cursory reflection on this turn of events raises the following points. That Ambode's interventions in Ekpe over the past 4 years seem to have earned him some solidarity among the people of Ekpe. The people are ready to vote with their feet, despite the fact that the wind of politics did not necessarily augur well for the ostracized governor. Finally, both events have this in common. The people are engaging to demand justice and, to some extent, to exact judgment. This leads me to ask the question, have we entered a new era of political activism that speaks to the hope that maybe, just maybe, we are finally to witness a season of power to the people?
I was waiting for Uche to jump into this one. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
On the same side.
Yeah.
Okay, both of you jump.
No, I want Retty to go with this.
Okay.
Yeah. I know she's been,
Yeah. So,
You guys are tag teaming.
well, so a new, what did you call it at the end? You said a new wave.
Era
of political activism.
I am loving, look, whatever, a new wave or new era or new breeds. Or anyone. New Ashoke, Emperor's New Clothes.
Fact.
I am loving it. I think one of the things that, and look, I think all of us here, the one thing I can actually testify to is that none of us here actually subscribe to violence.
No.
We don't, as a people, and even in this office. And most of our friends and family wouldn't subscribe to violence, but there is a time
and a place for it.
and
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, for real. No, you
there
say
is
I
a
would
time,
tag
you
team.
know, and it goes back to what you were saying and what you were saying
meltdown.
about this, your emotional. Look, it's gotten to a point in Nigeria where we've had our thoughts handicapped and our powers truncated, and it's not because we don't have the guts. It's not. Look, the people in diaspora, where are you? It's not because the Nigerians at home don't have the guts. But if you're faced with a AK-47,
Thank you.
okay,
AK-1.
is it AK-1?
Just AK-1.
Shakabula. If you're faced with a Shakabula, okay,
I mean, yeah.
and you know, and your life and you protesting, of course that's bullying, and that's the kind of armored bullying, oppression. Thank you. That we have here.
Yeah.
Correct.
So hence why, because otherwise, I promise you, the majority of us would have actually stormed that National Assembly.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be sitting there, you know, like everything is okay,
Earning
getting
their
away with
robbery
bloom.
salary.
Exactly, like everything is okay. They wouldn't. So we have to applaud our brethren. Look, where are you? In Germany. Vorsprung-Dock technique.
Austrianka.
I don't understand what I just said, but I can't. Dankeschön. I'm telling you.
But you know,
how do you say it in Igbo? How do you say it in Hausa? Let's say it to them.
Nagode.
Nagode. Thank you. Thank you for doing what we haven't been able to do.
I need to come in because, you know, people might be thinking, oh, we're just, you know, uncivilized, crazy, mad people.
I'm not part of you people.
No, I said people.
I'm waiting to say my own.
No problem. That's why I'm talking now. You talk your own. You know, people might be thinking, well, civilized, crazy, mad people, behaving like animals or whatever, throwing yam and all that. No. You know,
Yam and egg.
Yeah, sounds very bad.
Yam and egg.
But we have pretty much exhausted every other. We've come to the table. We've begged to come to the table. Yeah. We decided we will vote. So our vote did not mean anything. We want to protest. They will tear gas us. They will finish us.
Yes.
You know, what else is left for us to do? In fact, we weren't even able to do anything. Thank God for our brothers out there, because I've been wondering, how are we going to get ourselves out of this? Like slavery, you know, like it's slavery of the mind, slavery of the body, slavery of everything. How do we get ourselves out? I did not know that we would have this window of IPOB and, you know. So really, like you said, no, I don't subscribe to, but I really do believe that sometimes you have to speak a certain language in order to get your message across.
Okay.
And if it means throwing yam,
did you want to say?
With egg.
Yeah, well, I can only say that I support the treatment meted out to Ekweremadu, because he's an example we've made of the politicians. It doesn't matter whether he's the best politician there is or the worst. He has been dealt with as a sign to others.
It's a symbol. Yes,
as a symbol of what this is all about. It's a bit different, though, from this Ambode matter, which is a very, very serious and grave matter.
And I think that's separate.
That's separate. So I don't want to. I'm thinking that we should even leave that one, because I will have to call names here, and quite frankly,
we don't want to be shut down yet, Papi.
So maybe we just leave it to Ekweremadu. We are all free to talk now. Okay. We wouldn't have been free to talk if it wasn't that the Germans even helped us by not doing anything about it.
Okay, may I? Okay.
Yes,
so essentially, I think we haven't exhausted all our options, as Uche is saying, because I remember, and I know I keep going back to this.
I think you've misread
Uche said we exhausted all our options, pretty much. I heard her.
What else is left?
I'm coming now. I'm coming.
No, I thought you said she said we haven't.
Let me get down to business.
Okay, yeah.
So my point being that I would not subscribe to being an advocate for, you say we don't subscribe to violence, but when you now tell people that, oh, this is the way and we don't mind, go and do it, I just say to myself, there's a slippery slope. You have to draw a line somewhere. The fact that someone is treating you badly doesn't mean you should now go find an ultra-virus way to deal with them. It's like a footprint in the sand. It's a precedent you're setting up. When I looked at that video we all watched of Liberia, and we saw what was happening with the child soldiers, I said, you could easily find yourself in the people you're clapping for. Wait now, let me finish.
Let me
have to finish. No, you see, where I must establish. I agree with his point till he gets to point number 3, then I part ways. Of course, I know we're all frustrated by the government or the lack of governance. What I'm trying to say is that essentially, if people are not, when Uche says, oh, Irati actually the one that said that we're not cowards and all this, but when I see some of the behavior and some of the way we're singing the praises of these people, didn't you see the people who were welcoming the incoming so-called minister?
That is
cowardly. It's cowardly. Where you can stand up for yourself and you don't. No, because it's cowardly to be endorsing people to do something that you're not prepared to do. When it's under your nose, people are not ready. People are not ready to do it. When it's one-on-one, they'll be saying, when the time comes that somebody else somewhere else is doing, go and do it. You do your own here. Let me put your money where your mouth is. Stop clapping for them. Do it. You do it here. Let me know that you're serious.
Now the mental slavery that is going on.
Stop hiding behind IPOB. Do your own. Do your own.
No, I don't think.
Yes, it's hypocritical to endorse them.
No,
when you won't do it. You won't send your child to do it, but you tell them
No, seriously. No, first and foremost, I don't want my brethren, irrespective of what label they may have given themselves, to just be called IPOB agitators. They are Nigerian agitators.
Simple.
That's what they are.
No,
and
I don't agree with some of the things they're promoting.
But no, but that's not it. But what I'm saying is they feel my pain, I feel their pain, even though they're thousands of miles away.
They wouldn't identify with you.
No, it's not that. It's not, you see, and that's the thing. Okay. And I think that's where we need to get to.
Okay, but
if we all agree that, first and foremost, we are Nigerians. And Uche said something earlier before we came on air. She said what every Nigerian is asking for is a restructuring program. If we do go ahead with this restructuring, then the chance we can then begin to talk and discuss the relevance or irrelevance of Biafra. That's why I don't want anybody to be conflating the issue.
Okay.
So leave that matter aside. Forget that. But what you're saying about people, being cowards, no. But as I said before, at the end of the day, I do not need a Showari to speak to me, to speak for me. I can stand up and speak for myself, and I have done so. But when you are faced with a gun in your face, and you've got it, and don't you dare call somebody a coward for that. What it is sense and sensibility. Because you have to live to fight another day. There is strength in walking away, and there is power in coming back.
We haven't even gone out and faced the AK.
We have, though.
No, as in recent times, we haven't protested.
Which recent times?
I haven't seen people gang together. Even now as we're
No, it is.
There is like, for example, let me even agree with you.
That's it. This is a form of protest.
Well, let me even agree with you to some extent to say what Gbenga is saying. Is that, for example, what I see as a positive to take away from this is, yes, to some extent, I agree that we are stifled here and they've somehow pressured us to feel as if
we are gone.
Yeah, I agree to some extent. No, I don't know because I was still trying.
Blown force.
Okay, but let me continue. One avenue of
society.
Taking it on that doesn't necessarily involve assault or promoting assault is to say, you have the criminal courts. The thing I liked about the Liberian. No. The courts of the tribunals, the external courts.
Who are the judges?
Yeah.
Who appointed the judges?
No. Like when you have the courts of human rights courts.
You can
Which human rights?
How do you get into the human rights?
Which human rights?
You can sign up. You can go to human rights courts. That's why.
And do what?
Criminals.
So how many
are politicians for wars against humanity?
What are you talking about?
When you do that, you won't
They're trying to push Amnesty International out of
Make sure
Nigeria.
you're one way visa.
Don't forget, those guys in Germany, they didn't have to do that because they are enjoying 24 hours power supply.
Exactly.
They are not digging boreholes for themselves.
For us,
do you understand?
actually.
So kudos somehow. Okay, if we don't learn from history, history has a way of teaching us a lesson. After the break, Uche narrates a shocking story with a moral.